Hello, everybody. Welcome to Targeting Winners, a college football podcast. Thank you for watching on YouTube. Thank you for listening to us on Spotify or Apple or wherever you get your podcast. Please like and subscribe. It's free and it helps us out a lot. Also, share it with your friends and maybe see if we can get them to like and subscribe as well. Got to jump into, we were going to jump into some playoff predictions and all that, but wait a minute. I'm talking about Darren, upstate New
Yes,
York,
sir.
freezing his ass off. How are you?
Dude, it's cold. It snowed again. I went to pick up my daughter from college. It took like 10 hours from start to finish thanks to the snow. Yeah, just it's cold. It's windy. It sucks.
And
Whatever.
down in El Payo de Mexico, Pedro, how are you today?
It's warm. That's good. It's very warm and sunny, which is a positive thing, although I haven't been outside all day because I've been in meetings all day. But outside of that, it looks lovely out there. After this, I am going to see, hold on to this, I'm going to see Lionel Richie tonight, which
Hello,
very,
the
very
me you're looking for.
Well, I'm sure this week's news has you dancing on the ceiling. Yeah, Lionel Richie reference.
There we go.
1 point for me.
So yeah, like I said, we were going to go into, we got our. Well, let's see if I can get it on there.
Hey, while you're doing that, a little housekeeping. Don't forget, if you have not signed up for the Capital One Bowl Mania contest, it actually starts on Saturday. And it actually does start with the Cricket Celebration Bowl, which kicks off at noon between South Carolina State and Prairie View A&M. We will not be covering or betting on that. But if you want to get off to a good start in the pool, please make sure you pick that game at 12 o'clock, or you're already going to be a game behind. Thank you. Just wanted to get that out there.
All right. Well, yeah, like I said, we were going to cover these bowl games and some games going on this weekend, the playoff. We have thoughts on that coming up as well. But then a fun thing happened yesterday about 3 o'clock. We get a notice on our phone. And, well, as you can tell by the block M on our screen here, Michigan has fired Sharon Moore. Christmas came early for Pete. Probably not for the reasons he expected, but well, guys, the floor is yours. Darren, do you want to go first so you can get a word in edgewise?
I would just like to say shame on the college football world for paying attention to the wrong college football coach girlfriend. You're all worried about Belichick. I'm just gonna leave this. Shame on the college football world. But yeah, I mean, I remember texting you guys a screenshot of what had happened, and then it just seemed like every hour it got worse and darker, and
it got really dark.
It got bad,
very dark.
I'm not going to get into any details. I mean, let's face it. We know Pete and probably a lot of Michigan fans didn't want this guy coaching his team, but man, there's a lot of people's lives that are effed up because of this guy. So
I did manage to catch a couple live streams from Michigan fan bases last night, and a lot of them were like, they're kind of happy he's gone. I don't think Pete was alone in this, but if you want to go ahead, we'll give Pete the floor.
Yeah, have at it, man.
I love that. That's great. Yeah, I mean, I've been lobbying for his head for a while anyway. That's not news to anybody who watches this show. I've been very disappointed with his coaching, with his recruiting, with a number of things. So, yeah, Christmas did come early, but we don't need shame on the program and the process, right? Just fire the guy for being incompetent and not doing his job. We didn't need this. There's been rumblings for a bit behind the scenes that something could have been going on. There was an investigation back in the summer where they did interview both Sharon and this girl, where both of them flatly denied it back in the summer. So there was nothing to go on. So that went nowhere. Rumblings kept continuing through the fall multiple times that there was something going on. It kept popping up over and over and over again. Once again, there wasn't much to go on because there was no evidence, right? And at the end of the day, you're not going to fire a coach for just some hearsay when there is really no evidence to support it. So apparently what happened very, very recently, like this week, is that the girl decided to speak. A lot of it seems to be that her dad maybe started this conversation with Ward Emanuel. So it looks like that's the direction it came from, is her dad, or her dad convinced her to do it. They did it together. It's not entirely clear at this point, but her dad was involved somehow. And so up until this point, neither one of them would say anything. And then she/her dad had this conversation and produced clear evidence I would imagine that's texts, pictures, God knows what. There apparently was a pregnancy, abortion, all kinds of things that
Oh, I
happened.
didn't know that. Yeesh.
Yeah. So I'm guessing she probably showed medical evidence of that as well. So it went very quickly from evidence. It went to the board, and the board quickly took action, and he was fired. So obviously, we've seen some of the stuff that's happened since then, where he lost his freaking shit immediately. Well, imagine that, right? So, the number one, first, you just ended his career, right? I mean, who the heck's going to hire this guy again for anything, right? He ended his career. He goes home. He has to tell his wife, well, by the way, he has a bunch of kids, that he got fired for what reason? So he's got to tell her that, oh, by the way, I was cheating on you. Got fired for that. Oh, by the way, all the money that we're bringing in, gone. Right? So they got in an argument. He left. It seems the police report's not out yet. So we're not exactly sure. It seems that he went to her house and either tried to break in or something, threatened to kill himself, maybe tried to do something to her as well, or threatened to, was arrested, and now he's in jail. They haven't indicted him yet. Apparently that's up in the air of when that's going to happen. It's not going to happen today, maybe tomorrow. Who knows where that goes? So it's not clear exactly what happened with the whole police thing, and I don't want to speculate. I don't know. But some bad stuff, right? This guy obviously had a massive breakdown after this occurred. So I feel terrible for his family, and everybody else. Is awful. I feel bad for this girl who went through this and her family. Freaking terrible. Apparently this girl, to make it even worse, so she's an assistant who was the girl who actually took care of the family on game day. So she was the girl that was taking his wife and his kids around the stadium on game day. So that was that close to the family. So this was bad. This is bad in every way you can possibly think about it being bad. So this is a betting show. We're not getting into all that. I'm not going any deeper. That's as much as I know at the moment. There's a lot of speculation. As you can imagine, I'm a Wolverine. There's a bazillion people that I know that have all kinds of inside information, all kinds of other stuff, not getting into it. What I do care about, because this is a betting show, is where we go forward with coaching. A ton of rumors out there. Obviously, Kalen DeBoer is number one on the list right now. There's a lot of reasons for that. He has ties to Michigan. He was at Eastern for some time. As a matter of fact, Ward Manuel's wife is the realtor who was working, with Kalen's wife when they moved. So there's a connection there already. Dusty May, who coaches the Michigan basketball team, who's really good right now, also was at Eastern. So there's this little connection thing going on there, which is interesting. So it would seem that the kind of leader in the clubhouse by far right now is probably Kalen DeBoer. And certainly if they lose this first game of theirs, I would think he might very well be the person that gets hired, simply because then the scrutiny is going to take in Bama. His buyout's pretty low. I would think that he's going to just be here. I would think that's what's going to happen. Likely, it's not the person. I mean, obviously, he's got the connections. He's at Bama. I mean, it's hard to not like that hire. I'm a PJ Fleck guy. That he's not even being talked about right now. Honestly, that's not going to happen. There's a bunch of others, that are being kicked around. So we'll see. But at the moment, I think it's Kalen number one by far. I mean, obviously, there's the wish list of people like John Harbaugh and the whole family thing. That's probably not going to happen right now, but largely because there is a big rift right now between Harbaugh, the Harbaugh family, and that whole tree of people, and the leadership at U of M. There's just an issue with them. So I don't think any of the people that are in that group will come back to U of M as long as that administration is still there, especially Ward. So that won't happen right now. Could that happen if they left? Maybe. But it's not going to happen now. So, Kalen probably, there's a few others in play that make some sense, but it gets really interesting beyond that, which I'm sure we can talk about. If Kalen goes, who goes to Bama, right? Is Lane
Kiffin. Lane Kiffin.
Over there, because it's Lane. Lane does Lane things, and I would not be
after a 1 month tenure at LSU.
Yeah, if Lane. It's funny. I watch other podcasts on politics and such, and one of the guys is a big LSU guy, and they're so happy to have Lane. That'd be funny as hell if he just left immediately. So, a whole lot of weird stuff going on. I'm sure we'll have more talks as more information comes out. But yeah, this has been a huge black eye for the university. Not good at all. Really hard to watch yesterday, especially for all the people that are just getting hurt by this. That's so bad. So anyway, that's my spiel. I'm done, but very, very sad.
Do you think the rumors coming out had anything to do with they lost to Ohio State, or that
No, I
they
mean,
were going to come out anyway? Like even if they had beat Ohio State and somehow won the Big Ten going into the playoffs.
they were coming out anyway because this didn't really. I mean, this has been a rumor kicking around since the summer, well before any of this came, and before any losses or anything else. It just came to a head.
Yeah, I didn't even hear about it. They said
Because she started talking. Right now, what compelled her to talk? I think it sounds like her dad is what compelled her to talk. So I don't know. I think we'll find out more information about what happened there. But this came from her because she was not speaking before. So I don't know if they broke up. Right, there was some kind of issue with the relationship that caused this, which seems to kind of sound like it would be. But something happened there in that relationship, and now she started speaking, and that was it because she had evidence and done.
He might eventually coach again. I mean, Hugh Freeze is coaching again.
Yeah, but
coaching again, but
not with the second part of this. With the first part, if you just got fired with the relationship, fine. 4 or
oh
5
yeah, then
years,
everything else, yeah, I guess.
people forget. It's fine,
Yeah.
right? But then you get arrested, and if he truly tried to assault her or something, who the hell's going to hire?
Oh, he
the
did
guy?
that too. Oh boy.
Well, he
Yeah.
did something. He's in jail. I mean, so if he gets indicted for trying to assault her or something, forget it. He's done, right? It's the
Yeah,
first
he's
part
done.
he could survive. The second part, forget it. He's done.
Wow.
Yeah, the only things I heard from today, expect Ward Manuel to be fired in the
Yeah.
coming week because he knew about this and they conveniently waited till after signing time
Oh yeah.
to suddenly make this public. He is Sharon is supposed to appear in court tomorrow. I
That's
also
what I
heard,
heard.
so able to hear his side. I don't know what he's going
Okay.
to say, but I guess he'll get his day in court like everybody is entitled to.
Yeah.
And Pete,
That
I don't
is
know if you
true.
heard about this. Like, now with the portal rules, coach gets fired. Yeah. Bryce Underwood consider leaving. I mean, how much talent that they currently have may they not have?
But they could, but they have to wait. But there is a rule in place now where they have to wait till the new coach is hired. Right. So they can't leave now. They have to wait till
they
the new
have
coach-
5 days. I think it's 5 days or something like that.
Right. So, I mean, if you hire a stud of a coach, if you hire Kalen or somebody, I mean, sure, then fine. These players can make their decision. But, I mean, I don't know why you would leave if you have a really good coach at a really good program. I don't know why you would leave, but they could. They could choose to leave for sure.
Well, the silver lining of all this, if there is one, interim head coach, targeting winners favorite, Biff Poggi. Him and all of his hedge funds and sausage making analysis lead them into the Cheez-It Bowl? Yep, Cheez-It Bowl. Can we talk about college football now? Can we?
Let's
we can.
do that. Let's do that.
Please. So, the college football bracket came out, and Alabama in, Miami in, Notre Dame out. And you got to feel for Notre Dame. I mean, nothing ever goes their way. When are they going to catch a break? Ever. I mean, feel so bad for Notre Dame, but the committee.
Tim, I came on the show saying I wasn't going to talk, but now you're.
Poke. Here we go.
Yeah.
So I thought this year was funny. Catholics First Committee. I think it's there.
It's accurate.
So I mean, they bring the memes out there. I don't know if you have any thoughts on this. I mean, I think Alabama should have been left out. I think that's a consensus that Notre Dame should have been in and Alabama out.
Tim, why do you think
Goes
I
to
would
show
have
that since ESPN runs this thing, they're going to put the SEC teams in over anybody else, even with. For some reason, everyone talks about the leverage that Notre Dame has, which is why they're getting the automatic bid next year and all this other stuff. I don't see why, but I don't know. Any thoughts on maybe them joining a conference now? Or
I can tell you why they get the automatic thing. Well, first of all, they have to be ranked at a certain spot, depending on how many teams are in.
probably 10 or higher or 12 or higher.
No, it's if it stays 12, they have to be in the top 12 to be guaranteed a spot. If it goes to 14 or 16, they have to be in the top 13. And then I see a lot of the Notre Dame haters. Well, why did they get? Why did they? Why? I don't know. They're going to squeeze Notre Dame out of the schedule. First of all the other Power Four conferences signed off on this as being okay. So if you're going to be mad at anybody, I mean, don't be mad at Notre Dame. Be mad at all the other commissioners that said they could do this. I mean, what school wouldn't do this if given the opportunity? They're not going to join a conference. They do two, they every time you went around in the playoff bracket, you get a certain amount of money. Notre Dame didn't have to share any of that money last year with anybody. Why would any school want to share it, but all the other conferences have to share it? So they're not going to go to a conference. They're going to take that us against the world mentality. Do I think they should have been in the playoff? No, I don't. Your resume was not that good. You had 2 games against playoff teams. You lost them both. Win one of those, we're not even having this conversation. This whole, I'm going to say it, they're acting like little bitches. I'm sorry. I'm a Notre Dame supporter, but this whole thing, this press conference with this AD, bro, that was 20 minutes of my life I can't get back. You're acting like a petty little bitch. Just, win one of those 2 games, and none of this is even a thing. Do I understand the opting out? Fine. You're not against Miami or anybody like that. You're against the whole selection process. I get that. You moved Alabama up 2 weeks ago for an unknown reason. And then, what's that idiot's name that's running the committee? Hunter Yurachek, who, by the way, looks like he couldn't preside over a trip to Chuck E. Cheese, much less 12 other people making decisions on who should be playing in the postseason. I think the thing that really pissed Notre Dame off, and to be fair, BYU, Vanderbilt, and to some extent the Texas fan bases, you came right out and said, all right, we dropped BYU below Miami because they basically got whacked in their conference championship game.
But you didn't do it to Bama.
Bama got whacked. Yeah, all these teams that stayed home, Texas, Vandy, Notre Dame, Miami, they all had more rushing yards than Alabama did, okay? Because Alabama had -3 rushing yards against Georgia.
I had more rushing yards than Alabama.
Yes, you did. And you looked great doing it as well.
I'm entering the transfer portal.
As well you should. But, why did you not drop Bama? It's just, and that just basically comes out and tells me, yeah, everybody that thinks this is a whole ESPN SEC makes these decisions. I mean, I don't know if I totally believe that, but what other assumption could you make after that show? I mean, I don't know. So I get what Notre Dame's doing, and you want opt out of the bowl game. I don't really care. Like I was talking to Pete about this last night. If supposedly there was a team meeting, you met with your captains, you met with your seniors. If you all unanimously decided we don't want to play in this game, all right. That's cool. 9 other programs at this point, as we're sitting here, have opted out anyway. So I don't really care. Like, if you watched the Pop-Tart Bowl, you think Jeremiah Love is going to suit up for that before he goes to the pros? You think
he should? That's the People's Championship game.
Listen, there is nothing I want more. It is my bucket list to stand on the sideline and take a bite out of a 6-foot Pop-Tart. I'm not going to lie. There is that.
I wouldn't share a 6-foot Pop-Tart. I'm not sharing.
Dude, if it was s'mores, I would fight you so that you wouldn't be allowed any, because s'mores Pop-Tarts, the bomb.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, I see both sides. The timing makes you look like you're just a petty group of bitches. And to some extent, you are. But you know what? The other side of that is, well, they played 6 ACC. Well, be mad at the ACC for sucking ass. I don't know what else to tell you. They had 2 Big Ten teams on their schedule. They had 2 SEC teams on their schedule. It's not their fault that the ACC blows. I mean, you got a 5-loss team win your conference. Maybe you should be better. But I can see both sides of it. Not leaning towards supporting my team right now, but to some extent,
I just hate that whole charade that they put with they during the championship games. They show the committee there in some room with a bunch of TVs, and they're all sitting there in big lounge chairs eating like finger foods, and that was a big play right there, big play. Like, they already know what they're going to do. They already knew exactly what they were going to do, and the fact that they do this in the weekly shows every week. It's do away with the polls, do away with the committee. Go back to the old way. That's what we should do. Go back to the old way.
The bottom line is the goal of the committee per their website is to get the 12 best teams in. Your criteria right now does not allow that.
It does not.
And you had 2 teams absolutely playing like ass, which conveniently were both in the Southeast Conference, Oklahoma and Alabama. They both should have been out. I think Miami should have been in. And you can argue till the ends of time whether Notre Dame or BYU should have gotten that other spot. Or Vanderbilt. I don't care. You can even make a case to me for Vanderbilt, and I wouldn't be mad at you. But it's the process, I think, that Notre Dame and everybody else is upset about. And rightfully so. And just all the switching. Why didn't you have Miami ahead of Notre Dame after they beat them? I get Miami had a couple of bad losses. Maybe you dropped Miami too far. Maybe you had Notre Dame too high. But ever since Texas beat Vanderbilt midway through the season, you always had Texas above Vanderbilt, right up until the very end. So the process, we all know it sucks. And there's so much hatred towards bowl games, which I don't understand. I love bowl season as a fan, as a bettor.
That's fun.
So
But
what else are you gonna do on New Year's Day?
Like this, exactly. Like
day.
this and the whole Michigan thing. I think this is just the tip of the iceberg for both of these situations.
Yeah.
I think it's going to get a lot uglier before it starts to get better, but that's my thoughts. They shouldn't be in, but the criteria should be changed because there's nobody on this planet that thinks Tulane or James Madison is going to win.
To think ahead. They always plan for this year. Then they did something for next year. That whole automatic bid, that's going to screw something else up next year. Then they're going to change that. And every year they keep changing the rules. They don't know how to think 5 years down the line, 6 years down the line. In anything. I remember when, Miami, Virginia Tech, and I think maybe Boston College or Pitt came into the ACC, and they were like, well, we'll put Miami on the other side. That way we get 2 Florida State Miami games every year. We get the regular season game, and then we get the conference championship game. And then they didn't realize that one or both of these teams are going to suck at any given time. And then for the next 25 years, we've never had a Florida State Miami championship game in the ACC because either Florida State sucks or Miami sucks or they both suck. And then we end up with, Duke and whoever.
Yeah, I mean, go back to the BCS, go back to divisions. I don't care what you got to do.
Bring back the Big Eight, bring back the Southwest Conference. Put everybody back where they were.
Every week they were valuing something as more important.
Yeah.
Oh, well, the head-to-head is important. Well, Alabama looked great getting up 17-0 before playing like ass for the rest of the season. I just,
it's not consistent, right? It's not clear. It's not consistent. You don't know what they actually consider more important than anything else, and they just change it whenever they want.
Changes weekly. All right, guys, this is a whole other show, which we can do.
Yeah, we'll save that for
weekend. Here we go.
That's a great February show. Great live stream. Everybody can come in and bitch with us. It'll be wonderful.
Yes, it'll be great. Saturday, 3:00, Baltimore, Maryland, Army, Navy. We got Navy favored by 2.5, over under 39.5. The series has been bookended. The first meeting was won by Navy 24-0, and last year they won 31-13. I don't have a bet on this one. This is usual little friendly spat between my neighbors. I got Bill and Julie on one side with all the Navy stuff. I got Mr. Bob on the other side, old Army vet with all the Army stuff. So those two go back and forth. It's good times for all. So not going to lie, I'm rooting for Mr. Bob and Army this time. So he always has treats for my dog, and so he's always a very nice guy. So go Army. I don't know if you guys have any thoughts on this game, but that's my thoughts. Go Army.
I'm just curious if all you guys can let me know what the current line is, because for some reason I thought Navy is now favored by a lot more than that. I can't look at it here. It involves a New York college. It doesn't even show on my apps, but for some reason I thought the Navy went up to like 5.5 or 6 or something like that. But
did the total move? I'm wondering.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I said I haven't had any time to look again today.
Yeah. Let me look here. No. Get out of here.
Well, while you guys are looking that up, I'll just go because I don't have a bet on this due to the whole, Army being in New York.
5.5.
5.5. Okay, so it has gone up, and that makes sense. But I did write down, I did have a lean to the under if I was making a bet. I also have a lean on Navy here. I know these games are usually close. The lower total covering 5.5 or 6 seemed ridiculous. But Navy changed their offense a lot going into last year, and you can see from the result, Army had no idea how to stop it with the 18-point victory. Yeah, Army's team last year had Bryson Daly and Kanye Udo at quarterback and running back, respectively. Both those guys are gone. I don't want to say Navy rolls here because I know this is obviously a gigantic rivalry game. Both sides well represented in Baltimore this weekend. I don't know if Army has figured anything out. I mean, I guess we'll find out. But I just don't know if they have the skill positions on offense to keep up here. Horvath's supposed to play for Navy. I watched that game Thanksgiving night, the second half, where they pretty much dominated Memphis on the road. Navy did. Think you're looking at something similar margin of victory for Navy this year as well. That would be my lean.
Yeah, I've got a bet on this one. So 39.5. It did move a little bit down to 38.5 right now. Just looking live, it looks like pretty much everybody has 38.5. So it's come down a little bit. Actually, there's one that's 38. Yeah, that feels about right. I mean, other than last year, that was pretty high scoring for this game. This game has traditionally been very low scoring. Just almost always like a really low scoring game. That's what I'm playing here. I'm playing the fact that this game is close, it's tight, it's low scoring. It's just one of those things. I didn't even look to see what the weather was going to be, but quite often the weather can be
It's supposed to be nice.
Is it? Okay.
It's supposed to be not a factor. I don't know if it'll be nice December in the mid-Atlantic states, but nice
enough. You never know what
you're
getting there. It doesn't seem to matter, right? I mean, it's just a close, physical game. No surprise with these two units here. So, yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be a relatively close game, but a low-scoring game. So that 39.5 felt pretty high to me, just at least historically for this game. So to me, it's a one-unit play on the under.
All right. Any final thoughts on that one, or should we just move on?
Well, you didn't give yours. Do you have any final thoughts on that one?
No final thoughts. No Army.
I guess rooting for the guy that gives your dog treats, and that's fair.
Yes, the guy who gives my dog treats. Therefore, I'm rooting for Army, and I have no other views on this game. So just watch my neighbors rip on each other. So let's go into the Gronk Bowl, or what is this called? The LA Bowl, bucked up, whatever it is. So we got Boise State and Washington. Opening line was Washington minus 8.5 over under 51.5. Boise State going to the Pac-12. They're getting the band back together next season. So, you guys got any thoughts on this one?
I lean over. Both these quarterbacks, Madsen and Williams, are supposed to play. Boise State's probably not going to have too much success running the ball. Washington is really good at stopping the run, so I expect them to go to the air. Which y'all know, a lot of times incomplete passes, they're going to stop the clock. It's going to allow for more plays. I think this is going to be a point fest. If that's 51.5, I do have a lean to the over, but no official play for me.
Peter?
Yeah, same. I was leaning heavily on the over here. I almost played the over because I expect quite a few points here. So yeah, I expect a scoring fest. Of course, sidebar with the whole Michigan thing. Jedd Fisch is on the list, on the very short list to be a potential Michigan coach as well, because he has connection to Michigan. So I don't know what that means, or if it plays into this game at all in terms of how the team is prepared or how his mindset is going in. Probably not, other than the fact that just going to let it to score as usual, scoreboard as usual. So yeah, I expect a high scoring game here. That over is very enticing. I decided not to play it because I didn't want to play everything here, but yeah, it's leaning heavily over here.
All right, you guys were leaning over. I am betting over for a lot of the reasons you guys just said. Also, Washington does not commit very many penalties, or fewer penalties than Boise State. They have a really good kickoff return game, so maybe that'll lead to some short fields. High play volume on Boise State. They're going to keep the plays rolling and rolling and rolling. It's going to be a lot of plays, a lot of yards, scoring fest. Boise State does protect the passer a little bit better than Washington does. So maybe if there's a scoop and score off of a sack possibility, maybe something freaky like that. Usually bowl games, something crazy always happens. A lot of explosive plays from Washington. This whole thing for me just screams over. So I put a unit down on the over of 51.5. We all agree that scares the crap out of me.
Same, bro. I was thinking about betting that. I am holding off now. I'm not even touching it.
So one unit. That's this Saturday, 8:00. All right. Now we got the Salute to Veterans Bowl. Opening line is Troy -3. The over-under is also, once again, 51.5. Tay Meadows for Troy opting out. He's a starting running back. There's an opt-out for Jacksonville State. Or no, he's also on the defense, but this guy doesn't really play that much. So DJ Jackson, you're opting out. Good luck to you. So we got next Tuesday the 16th at 9:00, Montgomery, Alabama. Darren, your thoughts on this one? I'll start with you.
I have none. Like you said, Trey Meadows out definitely hurts Troy. Their quarterback, Goose Crowder, was hurt, came back, got hurt again. So who knows if he's going to play or not. Jacksonville State's defense, kind of ass. Not sure what to expect from them. Had to make a play here. I would take the 3, though, with Jacksonville State, just because I don't know what Troy's going to do for a running game here. And Jacksonville State could certainly control the clock here in this one, but the opt-outs and everything, I'm a little leery, especially when a good skill position player opts out. Love the points, hate the defense, so I'm just going to stay away here.
I'm Peter.
Yeah, for some of those reasons at 51.5, I mean, I thought about the under here and just the opt-outs and It seems to me that it could very well go under here. I was not very confident in that. Plus, I do like betting Troy, but I thought I'd avoid it here just because it's just there's too many opt-outs. I'm not quite sure what to do with this thing, but I do think it's going to be a lower scoring bowl game in that respect. So so I'm leaning under, but I didn't think it was worth the play here. So those are my thoughts.
Okay, I was actually leaning a little money line bowl sprinkle here. We got the turnover ratio was massive in favor of Jack State. Also with Meadows opting out, big offensive player there, getting 3. So I was actually leaning towards a little money line here with Jack State, but I just when I bet a lot, I lose a lot. I bet on like every game last week and it was a disaster. So I'm not going to bet on all the bowl games as much as I would love to. But yeah, if I was going to bet on this one, I would take a gamble with the money line, and I would have taken Jack State. And also, for some reason, how everyone thinks the SEC is the best. I think the Sun Belt's the worst. I don't know. I know they have James Madison in the playoffs and everything, but yeah. So for whatever reason, I just think Conference USA is better than the Sun Belt. But other than that, turnover ratio is like screaming at me to. There's going to be some big plays, especially with the backup running back in. I can see Jack State pulling this one out. Any thoughts on that?
The MAC is the worst conference in football, but it's the most.
It is indeed, and yeah.
I don't want to discourage our favorite conference.
No, that's why I said we love it the most, but as far as quality of football,
yeah, it's not great.
Right.
Yeah, bad.
All right, now we got the Cure Bowl. So we got Robert Smith on guitar.
Excellent.
Simon Gallup on. Oh wait, I'm sorry, that's the wrong Cure. I'm sorry.
I think two of those guys are playing quarterback for their respective teams because we don't have any starters here anymore.
Opening line: South Florida -7. I think it went down to 6.5. Over under 56.5. Old Dominion looking at for their first 10-win season. Opt-outs: Byron Brown, the quarterback for both teams. Colton Joseph is also out. I had a bet I put in before I knew all of this, but we'll start with Peter. What do you think on this game?
Yeah, me too. I had a bet I put in before all this too, which was the over 56.5. Yeah, I decided to roll with it. Why not? I mean, having the quarterbacks out is not exactly helping my cause here. But then again, the guys were going to fill in, throw a few picks, few fumbles. Gosh knows what happens. It's a bowl game. You never know what's going to happen here. I mean, I don't trust either one of these defenses all that much, so it doesn't. Plus they haven't seen these quarterbacks who are going to play. Sometimes that plays well, right? When you get a guy out there they have no tape on the guy, he hasn't done anything. He starts flinging the ball around the field. It's a bowl game, so who cares? There's been some pretty interesting performances in bowl games with guys who just come off the bench, don't play, start flinging the ball around, and nobody's really seen them play. And all of a sudden they throw for 350 yards. So who the heck knows what's going to happen? So I am leaning in for a little fun. I'm leaning in for some high scoring, just for the heck of it. So I'm sticking with my over bet, 56.5, 1 unit.
Darren.
Yeah, I mean, once both quarterbacks left, I had zero interest in there. I actually had written down a lean towards South Florida before the Byron Brown news came out today. I just don't know, for South Florida, what does your coaching situation look like? Apparently Byron Brown's going to be on the sideline as a coach because I guess they don't have anybody left. All the offensive coaches are now at Auburn. Curious to see if Byron Brown follows, but that's another show. But yeah, with obviously not a lot of opt-outs, but 2 pretty significant ones here. That coaching uncertainty with South Florida, I would trust them, but I can't. I think there's nobody left on the coaching staff, so I don't even have a lean. I'm passing on this one altogether.
I have a guy that could probably bring in for the day to coach the team because he's not doing anything else right now. As soon as he bails out, he could probably coach the team for the day.
Yeah, he probably could.
He's available.
Plus, there's hotties down in Orlando. You never know.
Exactly. You could have a great time.
Love to go there.
Yeah. Well, I do have a bet on this one. I put it in before the opt-outs, but then I saw that, quarterback for both teams are opting out. So what the hell, stick with it. I was not offered a buyout anyway, so I have no choice but to stick with it, but I'll still give it out. I have South Florida given 6.5. Again, I'm looking at the turnover margin here is big in favor of South Florida. Penalties also, they're more efficient on 3rd and 4th down. Now this is all with the regular quarterback. And with Byron Brown coaching, hopefully he's smart enough not to call any bubble screens or, line up in a shotgun on 3rd and 1 and do all the things. Maybe he's angling for a coaching job. So I still like South Florida giving 6.5 in this one against Old Dominion. Any final thoughts before you move on?
I hope you guys both win.
That's perfect.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
All right, we're moving right along to the Ventures 68 Ventures Bowl, Mobile, Alabama. This is next Wednesday. Opening line, Louisiana -3 with an over/under of 58.5. First ever appearance for the Delaware Blue Hens. Isn't that where Joe Flacco went?
It is.
It is.
It is.
Wow. So, and now Louisiana's got an 8-year bowl streak. So far, so good. As of Thursday afternoon, nobody's opting out. So, Darren, we'll start with you on this one. Any thoughts?
Yeah, this is my only bet for the early slate of bowl games here. Starting with Louisiana, I had high hopes for them coming into this season. Apparently, the only raging thing they did was play like ass because they did not have the year I had hoped. I do love their quarterback who came in, Lunch Winfield. I mean, dude's first name is a meal. How do you not love that? But apparently the last game they played against Louisiana Monroe, not only was he incredibly ineffective, 10 of 21 for 82 yards, he also got hurt. So while he is not on an injury report, I don't, if he shows up on Tuesday as, hey, I'm not playing, wouldn't surprise me one bit. So kind of fading Louisiana. But I watched a couple Delaware games. We all did when Conference USA ruled the midweek during October. I like Nick Minicucci as QB. And again, this is a team that's their first year in the FBS. They weren't supposed to be playing in a bowl game because the NCAA, we all know, makes rules that totally benefit their student athletes 100% of the time. But thanks to like 10 schools opting out of bowl games, they get to go to one. And motivation is always something you have to consider in bowl season. And I don't know if you're going to find a more motivated team in this first week of games than Delaware. They have to be excited to be here because it wasn't expected. The only reason I didn't go money line here is because their defense can also be ass at times, but fortunately for them, so is Louisiana's. So I will take the 3 points, and I am betting on the Blue Hens.
Yeah, if the over-under was a little bit lower, I was going to shoot for the under just because of both defenses are ass.
Well, there's a reason it's not that low.
Yeah. I mean, 56. It was like 56,
Hey, I see you guys didn't catch this out, but the total is actually in the title of the bowl game. There will be
68. There we go.
38-30 Delaware.
There we go.
Remember
I
the
was
point
actually
in the
leaning
video when I
Louisiana. I mean, statistically, as far as yards and everything, these teams are offensively are identical, but the way they get the yards are opposite. Like Louisiana's all run, Delaware's all pass. And just for that, I would bet on Louisiana if I was going to bet on this, just because passing, more things can go wrong, where if you can just run the ball, like we always say, run the damn ball. So they have that. They're pretty even in everything else. The turnover ratio favors Louisiana a little bit as well. I think the total advantage is +5 for total advantage, but they're given 3. I would like Louisiana minus the 3. Those are my thoughts. Peter?
I don't know. Sounds like they ate that quarterback's lunch last week, though.
Lunch.
That'd be done. Yeah, I mean, that total, if it was a couple points lower, I would have gone over. I really considered it anyway because this could get in the 60s. But I'm really rooting for Delaware for everything Darren said. I mean, it's kind of cool that they're there. They should be motivated. They're going to be excited to be there. So it'll be fun just to watch them play there. I expect you'll see a bunch of players that are playing their ass off. So it'll be fun to see. So I expect them to score a bunch of points. So I still think the over's in play here, especially if it comes down a little bit. If it ticks down a little bit before that game starts, I would definitely be considering playing that game. So we'll see. We'll see what happens there. But I did not make a play because that number's just right on the border of where I want to be. Give me a 57 or something. I'm in on that over. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. I think Tim brought up a good point looking at some stats for these teams. I think when you're comparing the Sun Belt to Conference USA, you can kind of compare that because the level of competition is probably the same. I wouldn't recommend doing that when you're looking at Boise State, like playing Washington, because you have a Mountain West team playing a Big Ten team. I mean, that's just a completely different animal. I mean, if you really break it down, you say, oh, Boise State was really good against the pass this year. Well, they didn't have to play San Jose State, who wings it all over the place. They didn't have to play Pete's favorite Mountain West team, Hawaii, who flings it all over the place. So, yeah, of course, your pass defense numbers are going to look better, but you're probably not going to be able to handle Damon Williams in that game. Yeah. So, definitely compare the stats, but just remember where these teams are coming from. But I think in this case, you can certainly do that. But
okay. Oh, I think this is the last one of the day. We got the Xbox Bowl next Thursday, the 18th in Frisco, Texas. Arkansas State favored by 2.5 over Missouri State. The over-under is 56.5. First ever bowl game for Missouri State. Arkansas started 1-4, and they became bowl eligible the last week of the season. Nice little rally. And as always, as of now, no players have opted out. Darren, let's start with you.
Yeah, much like Delaware, Missouri State, another team that should not be bowl eligible, but they are. I expect them to win the motivation battle here. The only reason I have not fired on this yet, Tim had mentioned the opt-out. So both these quarterbacks right now are supposed to be in. And if it is Jacob Clark for Missouri State and it is Jalen Raynor for Arkansas State, I will be throwing up a short on game day betting the over here because those two guys – dude, it's like arena ball, man. These guys will chuck it for 60 minutes, defense be damned. So I'm just letting you right now, I don't have a play on this, but if it gets to game day and both these quarterbacks are in, expect to see this ugly mug with a YouTube short betting the over because I think this total is probably about 4 or 4.5 points too low.
Yeah, Darren just took my script. I mean, that's exactly it. I mean, at the end of the day here, if both those quarterbacks play, this is going to go back and forth. This is arena ball. There's going to be a lot of scoring. It's going to be fun to watch. If you like offense, it's going to be great. All right. So I'm going to wait, but I will very likely play the over as well if both these quarterbacks are going to play. Haven't done it yet because it's the opt-out thing. I don't know what's going to happen here. But if they're playing, I'm betting, especially if the number's anywhere near this because this is going to be in the 60s easily. So,
well, Pete, get with me on Thursday morning. We'll do a short together if Clark and Raynor are both in.
Yeah, on this one, I was actually leaning another money line sprinkle here on Missouri State. You look at the turnover ratio and it's -9 with Arkansas State. But then you look at the pass protection for Missouri. They give up a lot of sacks and they commit a lot of penalties. So it's going to spoil the drives. Again, bowl games, I can see it on a sack, a scoop and score, something like that happening to totally change the game here. I was leaning money line sprinkle on Missouri State, but I decided to back off. But maybe I'll look at it some more, and maybe I'll join you guys with a short on Thursday morning or something. But heavy lean towards Missouri on the money line, and other than that, that's all I got for that one. I don't know if you guys want to wrap it up. No.
That's Pete and I are in mass agreement on that game.
Here we go. Pete, what you got for this week? Let's recap it.
Yeah, Army Navy, the usual battle here under 38.5. I'm not expecting a whole lot of scoring and a whole lot of physical play. And then we have Old Dominion in South Florida. Even with the opt-outs, we're hanging in here and expecting some fun, I hope, over 55.5.
All right, and I've got Boise State, Washington going over 51.5. On Saturday, and on Wednesday, I got South Florida -6.5 over Old Dominion. Darren.
Yeah, I'm a little more hesitant, especially at the beginning of bowl season here. So I only have one bet. I took 3 points with Delaware over Louisiana.
All right, that's going to wrap up our first bowl show of the bowl season here. Once again, thank you all for listening. Please don't forget to like and subscribe our YouTube channel. You can also email us at cfbdudes@yahoo.com. Leave a comment below. Let us know what bets you like for this week. Let us know your thoughts on Army-Navy. If you got any Army-Navy guys want to talk smack back and forth, that'd be always great to see. Again, thank you for listening, and we will see you. Bowl Mania. Check out the link in this video. And also on the Spotify channel, there's a link to our Bowl Mania. We're giving away a couple $100 for a winner, as long as you like and subscribe to our channel to qualify. And we will see you next week with that. Have a good week, everybody.